Terrain Tamer have a 50-year-old promise to deliver quality engineered four-wheel drive parts. Let's learn more in Terrain Tamer Uncovered.
G'day, Mark Allen here. About 3,000 Ks ago, I swapped out my Terrain Tamer 3-leaf parabolic leaf spring kit for a 4-leaf pack on the rear of my Troopy. Now this pack has been fantastic for on-road comfort, load carrying ability and off-road suspension flex. I love them. Up the front I've kept the same Terrain Tamer smart coils, fantastic too. Now the Terrain Tamer expanded body shock absorbers that come with the kit as standard have been good, but I just feel like I'd like to try something that's a little bit firmer valved to help control the big Troopy's body roll and also when towing camper trailers and caravans and fully loaded. Obviously suspension feel is a personal choice, but provided that suspension kit is actually doing the job. Now Terrain Tamer have offered for me to try out their firmer valve shock absorber kit. It's an option when you're purchasing their suspension kit, so you either tick the box with the standard valving or the firmer valve shocks. Obviously the springs carry the load, but the shocks play an integral part in controlling that load, both on-road and off, as well as when lightly or heavily loaded. Given the parabolic leaves don't have the inherent dampening effect, as in the friction between the leaves like a traditional semi-elliptic pack of leaves, they do need to be controlled via a well-valved shock to prevent excessive bounce and body roll. Now, a few words about the softer valve shocks. When I drive around close to empty, on-road or off, they have proved to be quite comfortable and have returned a great quality ride. But once I've thrown in a medium to heavy load or towing, then I reckon the softer kit are too lightly valved just for my tastes. The firmer valve shockies certainly aren't uncomfortable when the Troopy is running empty, but yes, I can feel the firmness. It's far from being harsh and one that I'm perfectly happy with, because that's the kit I'll be leaving in as it suits what I'm doing with my Troopy. For those that want or need the option of having the best of both worlds with a firmer and a softer valve shock, then Terrain Tamer also offer their adjustable remote reservoir shocks. Now that's something that I reckon would solve the ride quality issue of every single road and track you could possibly think of. I've graphed the ride quality of both the softer and the firmer shocks at the same speed, on the same road and on the same day. It's obvious the firmer shocks allow less vertical movement. That's the red line in the graph, compared to the softer shocks, which allow more up and down travel as they hit the irregularities in the road. So there you have it, the firmer valve shock kit's in, and yes, I can feel it's a bit firmer both on-road and off, but it's far from being uncomfortable. In fact, I reckon it suits perfectly what I'll be doing with my four-wheel drive for load carrying and towing. I reckon Terrain Tamer have nailed this kit.